Welcome everyone back for another beer review, and today is Wednesday, which of course means it's time for another West New York Wednesday here on the channel. And the beer I'm reviewing today once again comes from the Big Ditch Brewing Company, and they are headquartered in Buffalo, New York, and this is their Bourbon Barrel Aged Aqueduct, the reserve variant. This is the 2024 release. So this is an Imperial Stout aged in a single Russell's Reserve bourbon barrel. It comes in at 10.5% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed. Time of review, and this bottle is just over 6 months old. So I'm reviewing this one today because recently Big Ditch celebrated their 10th anniversary, which is awesome. So congratulations to the entire team at Big Ditch. They threw a huge block party on, I think it was Saturday, May 31st. I unfortunately was unable to attend, so I thought the next best thing was to review a beer from them and pay homage. So I remember when they first were starting out back in 2015, I actually went to a beer fest. I think it was in 2014, might have been early 2015, and Corey, the founder and head brewer of Big Ditch, was there, and he was talking about the beers. They brought a couple, and one of them was an oak aged like English strong ale. It was very tasty. It was kind of telling me about the brewery and what they plan to do and whatnot. Whatever they ended up doing worked, because here they are 10 years later and they are doing extremely well. To me, one of the most consistent, if not the most consistent, Buffalo born brewery here in the area. And they just recently opened up their Lockport, New York facility, which I have to check out at some point. In fact, I have to do an on location at their brewery. The other co-founder, Matt Kahn, he actually, I've seen him at different beer fests and chatted with him. He said that he would love to do an interview and me come to the brewery at some point. So we need to make that happen, but it's on me more than anyone else because I'm the person who's not doing it. So anyway, I thought I would bust this one out. So this is a beer they released for their annual Stouts Giving event they do. It's the day before Thanksgiving every year. They barrel age a bunch of beers. They basically release a bunch of big imperial beers, and some of them are barrel aged, some of them are pastry stouts, whole nine. And this was one that they released last year, and this is one of the beers that a lot of people that I've talked to said is one of the better variants within the Aqueduct series. So on the back here it says, Erie Canal Aqueducts were designed to carry canal towpaths over adjacent rivers and roads. They always have that, they mention what aqueducts were. This special reserve version of our barrel-aged Imperial Stout was aged in a single Russell's Reserve bourbon barrel before bottling by hand. The result provides strong bourbon, chocolate, and coffee flavor to our rich and roasty stout. So it sounds delicious. Most of these Aqueduct beers I've really enjoyed, but this one being their reserve, I'm hoping it's even better than the rest. So we will find out, but give it a pour here into the hashtag proper glassware, and the bottle is sweating. I mean, it's out of my darker beer fridge at 54 degrees Fahrenheit, but it is very warm today, extremely humid. I'm gonna try to generate a head if I can here, and yeah, it's definitely sweating. I almost just dropped the bottle because of how much condensation was on there. So do a little bit of a swirl. We got it in the hashtag proper glassware, Big Ditch TQ, mini TQ. This is, I think, 10 ounce one. That looks absolutely fan-fucking-tastic in the bottle. Poured out, I'd say, more of like a dark brown than a pitch black kind of look. But yeah, it has a half finger to almost a full finger of this straight-on brown-colored head, a very creamy looking. Yeah, it looks kind of what you expect out of a barrel-aged Imperial Stout to some degree. Let's get a nose. Yeah. So they say chocolate coffee. Yeah, this tastes like a boozy, chocolate-covered espresso bean. Very similar to that that parfait, CWH parfait from Side Project. Not saying it's in that on that level. I'm just saying very reminiscent. It has the bourbon. It has like a peppery, sweeter bourbon, like almost like a nuttiness. But then it's chocolate. It's coffee. Big roasted malt vibe. Vanilla's there. Sweet dark cherry. Oh, it smells beautiful. The barrel is definitely the most predominant note. It's very intense without going over the top. Like it's not like singeing my nostrils or my hairs in my nose, right? Oh, dude, it smells really good. It smells like it's gonna be sweet, but like not overly sweet. This just smells like a by the book, very good to delicious bourbon barrel aged Imperial Stout. 10.5%. Yeah, you can tell it's a bigger beer, but I wouldn't guess exactly 10.5. Probably like around 10 though. Anyway, let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. And congrats to Matt, Corey, and everybody at Big Ditch on 10 years. Who would have thought that Big Ditch would start the brewery and not only celebrate their 10th anniversary, but have a great time doing so, and the Sabres have not made the playoffs any time in that time period. Like, it's crazy to me. 14 fucking years. Gross. One before I die? Probably not. That's fucking top notch. It's so smooth. Like, I was waiting for like, that was a wild sip. Let me go back. That was a wild sip. Yeah, I mean, the barrel is intense in this one. It's like very vibrant. But I'm waiting for like waves of like a big booziness, a harshness, something from the barrels, and it just doesn't come. It just smooths out on the second half of the palate. This is delicious. This is full-bodied without being thick and syrupy. What I mean by that, as I take the sip, it encompasses and kind of envelops the palate, right? Like, it envelops the palate, and it's like, wow, this is kind of thick. The viscosity is definitely high, but it never gets to the point where I'm chewing it. It's syrupy, it's oily. It's just like thick without being overly thick. Full-bodied, 100%. The mouthfeel is also great. Mild to moderately carbonated, more approaching moderate, but it has such a beautiful smoothness on the second half of the palate. This is immensely creamy too. Like, between the viscosity and the creaminess, like, it's just a joy to drink from a body and mouthfeel standpoint alone. So it's delicious. The taste, I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not going to tell you there's 80 fucking 7 flavors going on the palate and I'm getting this and this and this. Front to back, boozy, chocolate covered espresso beans. So front to back, boozy bourbon, peppery bourbon, caramel toffee, sweeter. Then there's like a sweet dark chocolate and like a medium roasted coffee. It all encompasses into one boozy chocolate covered espresso bean. Underlying fruity notes, sweet dark cherry, maybe a little bit of like a nuttiness, molasses, brown sugar. Again, I'm not going to say 100 fucking different things because it's just nuances of that. And that's front to back. But as I said, it's weird because I don't get this too often, but the front of the palate, like the first half of the palate is like, wow, this is fucking intense. It's the spirits here, and it's front and center of the spirit. But then the base beer comes in and it hits everything. Even the roasted kind of malt quality hits me more towards the finish, which is a rarity for me. Usually it's front of the palate. So as it finishes, more of the actual barrel comes out more so than the spirit. So the finish is like a vanilla oak kind of roasted malt quality. It has a nice firm dryness, a mild to moderate bitterness. While it's rich and decadent and sweet, it's not overly so. I'd say 60-40 sweetness to dryness and bitterness. It's a joy to drink. The mouthfeel and body are top notch. And I've taken a bunch of sips already, and I'm going to have no problems throwing this back. And this is one of those beers where I'll usually cap, drink the next day, or share it. I might just drink this fucking entire bottle to my dome piece. It's so fucking good. Now I'm getting a little bit on that sip, as it's kind of opening up in the glass, a little bit of toasted coconut from the barrel. There's a slight toasted coconut on the finish. 10.5%, nice warm in my chest. I can tell. I can tell it's 10.5. It doesn't hide the alcohol. Let's just say that. But I don't give a shit. I've always said this. If the beer is 10+% and it doesn't hide the alcohol, as long as it's not a triple IPA, I'm okay with, or any kind of hop forward beer, I'm okay with it. If it's a big dark beer and it's boozy, I expect it. I just don't like booze in my hop forward beer. So if I'm drinking a 10.5% triple IPA and it's super boozy, not for me. This, it adds to the drinking experience, in my opinion. It's so fucking good. This is probably one of the best, if not the best, aqueduct beer I've had from Big Ditch. And this gets pretty high scores on Untappd. I think there's like 50 to 60 ratings, and I think this is like a 4.25, 4.3, something like that. This is better than that, in my opinion. I feel like a lot of the Aqueduct beers from Big Ditch get lower scores than like, like if this wasn't a side project fucking bottle. I'm not saying it's a side project beer. I'm not saying it's comparable, but I'm saying it's a fucking great beer. This is a great Bourbon Barrel Aged Imperial Stout. And when I drink something like this, there's not many faults here, honestly. Maybe a little bit more complexity. Maybe tone down the booziness a bit, right? Like in a perfect world, a lot of this stuff would be like, yeah, it's not going to get a 5 out of 5. But this might be the best within the series. If not, it's damn close. This is fucking awesome. This is an awesome variant of their Aqueduct beer. So if you have this, if you were lucky enough to get a bottle of this, and you haven't cracked it open yet, do so. I think it's drinking. I don't see how it's going to get much better. Maybe the booze kind of dies out, but outside of that, I don't know how it's going to get much better. So I'm going to give this a pretty high score. Big Ditch's Bourbon Barrel Aged Aqueduct, the reserve variant, the 2024 release, high 4.5, I'm going to go 4.6. This is fucking top tier, boys and girls. Top tier. No questions asked. And this is a perfect, I think, a perfect reason why Big Ditch has been around for 10 years. They know what they're doing. Do they make, the best beer I've ever had? No, but I've had a lot of fantastic beers from Big Ditch. And more importantly, I haven't had many bad beers. If you go look through my reviews, I may have had one, let's say maybe like, I'm just trying to think, maybe like 3 beers from them that I didn't really care for. But this is not one of them. This is a top tier beer. 4.6 out of 5 all day. Price point availability. The availability was very limited. You either had to go to the brewery. I picked this one up at Brewed and Bottled Loose in New York. Shout out to Chris and the shop. Chris is a great dude. And he got his hands on most of, I think, the variants and the base. He released them on Black Friday, so a couple days after they released them at the brewery. But you either had to go to the brewery or maybe one of the few bottle shops in the area that got their hands on them. So they're not sitting on the shelves, pretty sure, anywhere at this point. And price point, I think I paid like $17 for the bottle at Chris's, and I think at the brewery it was 16, so 16, 17 bucks. Yeah, it's a 16.9 fluid ounce bottle, so it's 500 milliliters, around $1 an ounce. Yeah, this beer specifically, yes, worth it every single day of the week. And so I'll leave you with this. It's a longer review, but it's a beer that pays homage again to Big Ditch. They're celebrating the 10th anniversary. I hope they watch this review to understand how much I've appreciated them, especially on the channel over the past 7+ years. I've reviewed a lot of their beers. I speak highly of them whenever anyone talks about them, because I do think, again, of Buffalo-born, and what I mean Buffalo breweries that actually opened up in Buffalo and didn't have, I don't consider Other Half or Mortalis or even Frequentum. I love all those breweries, but they're not Buffalo-born. Big Ditch is, and they make some of the best beer in the area for a Buffalo-born brewery, and I think it speaks volumes when they're opening up a second location in Lockport. So gotta check out the second location, gotta do an on-location video as a whole. And yeah, I'm gonna shut this one down. Hopefully you guys are drinking something as delicious as this. If you watched this review and you've had it before, please post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another Western New York Wednesday. Check back next week for another installment. Don't know what I'm reviewing, but it should be from the Western New York area to some degree. Anyway, cheers.